We're invested in over 54 different companies right now, and from time to time, the founders and CEOs of these businesses will ask questions. And I just recorded the top 3 questions I received this quarter from all the CEOs that I advise, and I sent it back out to all of them. And I thought I would take that recording and share it with you. This is the full recording from this quarter of the top 3 questions received from the CEOs that I advise. All right, today I want to talk to you about the top 3 questions from the first quarter of 2021 from the CEOs that I mentor. Now, I will tell you this, if 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs are actually asking these questions, I think it would be fair that you and I should probably find a way to answer these questions too. Now, I'm not going to go into the philosophy around doing anything. I actually want to go into giving you the exact thought process, the exact answers, the exact kind of how-to on what I shared with them so that I can share the same thing with you. I actually used these 3 questions in the recent launch of my new private podcast called 10K Wisdom. I took the same questions that the CEOs that I mentor are asking me and talking to me about, and I'm actually taking that and building this little private library of stuff so that if a multi-million dollar, billion-dollar CEO or an entrepreneur is asking for that question, I think that it may help us too. Now, before I frame any of this stuff, I want to make sure that you and I are aligned on something very specific. The first thing is this, and this is what I have noticed, by the way, the higher the value of the mentoring or the advisory or consulting relationship, the more money I end up paying a coach, or the more money someone end up paying me or a piece of their company or whatever it may be, the higher the value it is, the more basic the question. I'll say it again. The more higher the value, the more basic the question. And you may think that sounds weird. You may think that the conversations that I'm having with, I currently advise the CEO of a Fortune 100 company, right? That means it's a publicly traded company in the Fortune 100, all right? You would think that the conversations I have with their CEO and their CMO, you would think that it's mind-blowing. In fact, it's not, right? It's really basic. It's like, hey, how do I actually delegate this? What is Clubhouse? How do I actually write better email? I'm getting stuck on my calendar. How can I actually get this off my plate? These 3 employees are being belligerent. What do I do? Hey, I feel really stuck and stressed out at night and I'm not able to get home to hang out with my family. What can I do to fix it? Those are the things, the higher and the deeper level the conversations that happen, the faster we can fix those, the faster everything else gets fixed. Right? And that's why these questions are important. So with that as a frame, if that sounds cool, I'll give you some tactical stuff. Just give me a cool in the chat if I'm tracking the right direction on all this stuff. All right, just give me a cool in the chat. Okay, cool, awesome. I got a couple of cools. Thank you. All right, let's drive and answer these questions, and then if we have some time, I'll open it up for questions from you. All right. So for the first one, how many of you actually would like the answer to this question? Give me a me in the chat. The first one is this: what is one thing that I can do every single week that will take less than 30 minutes that will help my business and help my brand, guaranteed? Say it again. What is the one thing that I can do every single week that will take less than 30 minutes that will help my business and help my brand, guaranteed? If you have ever thought about a question like this, give me a me in the chat so I know that this is worthwhile to you. If not, I'm just going to skip over this question. People get this happens all the time, right? Okay, cool. A bunch of people asking it. So let me give you the one thing that you can do every single week that will help your business and help your brand. Literally, the cool part about the reason why I came up with this format was exactly this reason. You can do exactly this. Exactly what I am doing right now. Here's what you do, right? And I'm saying this to you just because you're here. Literally what you do is you say, I have an email list of maybe 400 people on my list. I have a social media following. I have whatever. I have a network of people. I have a Facebook group. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an email. And I'm going to say, hey, I've been getting a lot of questions on this topic of, pick a number. If you're a life insurance salesperson, whole life insurance. And these questions come up over and over again. So to save myself and my audience trouble and to prevent me from writing 100 plus responses, I decided that I'm going to go live tomorrow and actually break down the 3 things every person looking to life insurance should know. So if you've ever considered buying life insurance and want to know the 3 things that every single person should know, join me. Here's the link. You show up and you teach. Literally, you show up and you teach. Right? So the absolute first thing that you can do is you can do a teaching style brand where you show up and you teach. Now, this is not a webinar. It is not a webinar. Please don't call it a webinar. Because when you call it a webinar, what do people think? When you think webinar, what do you think? What is the first word that comes to mind when I say I'm going to do a webinar? What is the first word that comes to mind? Yes, that you're going to sell me something. Right, 100%. That you're going to sell me something. Because as soon as you say a webinar, something like that happens. So you can call it and, hey, I'm going to do a special training, or you can call it, hey, I'm going to do a special masterclass. Hey, I'm going to do a private Q&A. All that's totally good, right? You can totally do that, and that's totally fine. But you don't want the, I'm going to do a webinar, come register for it. No one wants to register for your webinar. I'll tell you that again. Nobody wants to register for your webinar. You don't want to register for anybody's webinar either. Now, the question should come to your mind saying, okay, Sharon, what do I teach? What do I teach? Well, you saw this topic, right? This topic is really simple. I just didn't pull this topic out of thin air. It is the top 3 questions that the CEOs I mentor are asking me right now. You can do that because that's the topic that was live in conversation for me. For you, it is really this simple. It is really, what are the conversations that you're having on direct messages? What are the conversations or questions that your clients are emailing you? So let's say let's say you're in the products business, and let's say you sell a vitamin or a CBD supplement or something like that. And let's say you get an email saying, well, hey, should I buy the gummies? Can they give me sleep? I'm really stressed out. Should I should I put the green powder in water or in milk? Can I make smoothies with this? Like, you're getting these questions from clients and customers all the time. Aggregate those questions and just answer the questions, right? You can still, the question would be, hey, does CBD actually eliminate me from taking vitamins? The answer is yes and no. Let me walk you through the 4 reasons why. Like, literally tell them exactly the questions that they're asking, because for every person that asks you the question, assume that there are 10 people that are not asking you the question. Say it again. For every person that asks you the question, assume there are 10 people that are not asking you the question. And that's what this is really, really important for, okay? Super important. So literally what you're going to do is you're going to look into your email and you're going to think, oh my gosh, that topic sounds really basic. The topic sounds really strange. The topic sounds really like blah. Why would someone want to know that? Well, that's what people are asking. Now, you may do that online training, and only 6 people may show up, and it's still okay. Would you take a call with the 6 people or 3 people or 1 person that wanted to talk to you about something very specific? Of course you would. They took time out of their day to be there. The least you can do is deliver that value. That is the fastest way to build your brand and drive leads and drive value to your client base every single week, just by doing this for 30 minutes. Okay? Look into your email, find the question, and say, today I'm going to talk about blank. That's it. Now, a lot of people will ask me this. They'll be like, well, Sharon, should I set up slides? What should I do? You don't have to do any of that. Do exactly what I'm doing, right? You can also take the Zoom feature if you're using Zoom and a whiteboard, and you can draw. You can you can literally pull up your product catalog and you can talk through it. You can take a client case study or go to a client's website and talk about it. You can do anything, right? But it doesn't have to be fancy. You can literally make the notes like I'm making right now. I'm going to put everything in this Word doc, and I'm just going to give you the doc, right? And for those that, a lot of people jump down, they're like, how can they get access to the doc? Here's the link to the doc. Literally, I'm giving you the doc, right? So now you have access to the doc. I work on it live with you, but it still shows you that I'm teaching and sharing and building and giving you value. But at the same time, I'm also not having to spend a ton of time preparing for this and creating funny slides, and then people fall asleep to my slides. Right? Super, super important. So you can do it in as simple and, kind of like, casual a way as possible. And then at the end, by the way, like, I gave you my slides today, but at the end, you can also say something like, hey, if you would like a link to this document, just email me, Sharon at, domain.com, whatever it may be, with the subject line slides, and or subject line doc, right? And I will send you the link. You could totally do that. right? Because if you do this, then the other thing is really powerful too. Whoever catches this on the replay can do that. You can also say, hey, send me the word, 3 strategies or whatever, some kind of code word. That way your team also knows what to send. I'll take a pause here. Super, super important that we understand this, because now you can repurpose this video and still generate leads over and over and over again by doing this one video. So I'm going to pause. Questions, thoughts? Do you understand kind of like what I'm trying to do with this overall? Okay, good. If it doesn't matter what business you're in, real estate, mortgage, coaching, consulting, none of this matters. Literally, just teach and tell somebody, hey, if you want access to all of this. By the way, if you're in e-commerce, and I know I have a couple of friends here in that space, and you're selling something, literally you say, hey, if you like this webinar, just email me the word coupon and I will send you a 10% off coupon code. Right? Or you can send them the link and the coupon code right there if that you want. But that's good also, because you can say, hey, if you want this, send me this. And then at the end in the chat, you can just paste the coupon code right there. So whoever attended live gets it live, and whoever catches on the replay, they email you and then they still get the code. That way you can utilize it for both purposes, all by just doing a simple Google Doc. You don't even need to literally just do a document or a text file and just email it to them. Make it ultra easy for everybody. Okay? Cool. Before I jump to number 2, questions, comments, thoughts. Hopefully you guys can use something like this. Okay? Good. Awesome. All right. Go to the next one. This is probably one of my favorite questions. Comes to us often. And let me put the chat up here so I can see you guys. All right, cool. So what do you do when you feel stuck? Whoa, sorry about that. What do you do when you feel stuck? How do you get out of a dark place? If you've ever felt this way, can you just put a me in the chat? Because if I don't get at least a 1 or 2 me's, I'm gonna kind of like, you're lying to me, right? So here, yeah, totally, right? What do you do when you feel stuck, and how do you get out of a dark place, right? This happens to us all the time. So let me allow you. There's a lot of thought processes around this stuff, but let me give you 3 simple ways. 3 simple ways that the things that you can do when you ever feel stuck. All right. There's 3 things that you are allowed to do when you feel stuck. All right. Here's thing number 1. The number 1 reason why most of us feel stuck is because we feel stuck because we have a lack of clarity. We don't know what to do next. We feel like we can't see the path forward. We feel like, if you're in the last mile of a race, you don't feel stuck. You know why? Because you can see the finish line. Think of it that way. The reason why most people are stuck is because when they see the last mile of a marathon, you're like, it's only the last mile. I know what I'm going to do. I have extreme clarity, right? But if you're entering the woods and you don't know what's on the other side, and you have no map, and you have no plan, and you have no strategy, then you start to feel stuck and you start to feel concerned. The number 1 reason for people feeling stuck is that they have lack of clarity. And by the way, you and I and 9 and 10 figure CEOs all have lack of clarity. It's just in different parts of our lives. And it's totally okay. Our job is to continuously keep working so that we get more clarity. So when you feel stuck, you are allowed to do the first thing, which is plan. And when I say plan, here's what I mean. This can be related to redoing your 90-day goals and projects. This can be just looking at your calendar and just restructuring what you are going to do this week. It's like reprioritizing your to-do list. It can be anything related to, it can be just rewriting your goals. Here's what happens most of the time. When we get stuck, what we end up doing is one of 2 things most often. All right, most often one of 2 things. Both lead to procrastination. Procrastination tactic number 1. What we end up doing, procrastination tactic number 1, is we get on our phone and get on social media because it's a good distraction for us, right? That happens all the time, right? Procrastination tactic number 2, we just procrastinate on our computer and we start doing mundane things like clean out our inbox. We start doing organizing. There's a big difference between organizing and planning, right? Organizing is cleaning up your world so that things are in the right place. Planning is figuring out what to put in the right place. Think about that for a second. It is very easy for us to start cleaning up our emails and deleting a bunch of old stuff, reorganizing our folders, make sure nothing's on our desktop, like, cleaning up our CRM, responding to emails that have not been responded to before, reading random articles, like all that you do. Why? Because you feel stuck, so you want to just distract yourself. Right? That's what we do. So we either get on social media or we do like simple, mundane things that actually we don't even need to do. Those are the things that we do. What you want to do is you want to plan, because when you plan, you get more clarity. When you get more clarity, you get confidence. When you get confidence, you commit to doing something. And when you make the commitment, you get the courage. All right? Those 4 C's really, really are important. When you get clarity, confidence, commitment, courage. Work in many, many powerful ways. But the seed of that is the clarity. You have to get the clarity, otherwise you can't commit to anything. And that's why it's really important. So number 1, you're allowed to plan. And I will tell you, a lot of times I end up planning, I would actually plan 80% of the time, as opposed to, because I know that if I plan really well, good things will happen. If I know that, okay, tomorrow I can't finish this project, but what if I did part of it? Maybe I'll just say, tomorrow I'm only going to work on this. I make a couple notes, and then this is how I plan. And that's how this really works. So number 1, plan. Number two, second way that you're allowed to do when you get stuck is this. You are allowed to make an offer. Make an offer. I also call this is make an invitation. So if you're an e-commerce company, I find some e-commerce friends in the room. Literally what you're going to do is say, I feel stuck. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to do a video and say, hey, super excited to hang out with you. By the way, I only have 15 little things of this water bottle left. I'm going to get a new supply in tomorrow for the next 15 orders. It's 10% off. Swipe up to get your 10% off. Or you write an email saying, hey, I only have 15% of these left. I'm going to send them to you. Buy one, get one free. Click here to order. Make an offer. Make an offer, make an invitation, right? And if you're a coach or a consultant, what you would do is you would literally say, hey, I was just talking to one of my clients, and she sold her business, and she is going to take a break and travel the world for 6 months. So I have one spot available for only 6 months for a coaching opportunity. And since she was a fantastic client, I want to make sure that I get another fantastic client just for 6 months that I can get there. It's by application only, but if you join, blah, 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 right? Just reply to this email and I'll get you all the details. Make an offer. Make an offer, make an invitation. Make an offer, make an invitation. Make an offer. If you have an online course, literally what you're going to say is, hey, giving me a lot of thoughts around productivity in today's world. If you're interested in productivity, go to productivityplaybook.info. I think you'll enjoy it. Put it on all the platforms. When you get into making an offer mode, you stop being stuck and start driving a specific result. We don't make enough offers. I will tell you right now, the more offers you make, the more money you will make. Offers in our world, or invitations, are very similar to the open sign in front of our store. If you don't put the open sign on over and over and over, if you don't put the flashing open sign on, if you don't do that, then no one's going to come in and buy. No one's going to come in and talk to you. No one's going to come in and engage with you. If you feel sleazy about selling, there's only 2 problems. I'll say it again. If you feel sleazy about selling, especially online or making an offer, there are only 2 problems. Number 1, you don't know how to sell properly. You don't know how to make a general offer. That is number 1. Number 2, that means you are not very confident about your product or service. Those are the only 2 reasons why you feel sleazy about selling, right? You don't know how to do it right, or you're not confident about the result that you can provide the client. I really hope that it's not the second, because I know you're really good at what you do, so you just don't know how to do it right. And if you're ever stuck about doing it right, just do it in a very gentle way. Hey, I'd love to invite you to do this. Be really nice about it. Everyone else is selling their face off. Why shouldn't you? When you're stuck, make more offers. All right? The last thing I will tell you is this. When you're stuck, the other thing that you can do is build an asset. I really think a lot about this, and to me, building an asset is ultra important. What is an asset? An asset is something that functions when you are not around, to put more people into your world, into your business, into your sales process, right? So to me, building an asset, for example, building an asset would be, I would record a podcast. And at the end of the podcast, I would make a call to action. I record an asset. It's a piece of asset. I put it out in the world. Someone listens to it and does something based on it. Or I build a web page where build this web page where someone can go and order something. Or I write an email where if I build this email and send that emails, a bunch of things happen from it. Or I create a marketing piece, because then I can take that marketing piece and send it out via direct mail. Or I build a QR code, because if someone scans the QR code, they get linked to my website. Or I build a webinar like this, so that if someone benefits from this, they can get something from it. When you are stuck and you don't know what to do, build an asset, because that asset can be then deployed anywhere in your business, and you never feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't spend time building that asset. Most of the time, the reason why we become marketing junkies is because we don't have enough assets, and we think that, oh, someone else's cool marketing is going to save us. If you have more assets, you can deploy, you can put that in front of more people. Why is there the obsession? Like, why do I have a team that puts Instagram content in front of everybody? Why is I have a team that helps me build a podcast? Why does I have a team that helps me take the podcast and make them YouTube videos? Why do I have a team that helps me actually write, I write emails every single day? Why do I have a team that builds landing pages? Why? Because the more assets I have, the more I can put it in front of people that can help them understand who I am, maybe solve their problem, and therefore, if it's the right fit, because you don't want people that are, they will choose to get something from you and enter your universe, right? That's why this is important. So if you think that selling is sleazy, again, remember, there's only one of two things. Number one, you're not selling the right way because no one's ever taught you how to sell online. Number two, you're not really confident about your product or service. Either of those things we need to solve, because otherwise this is not going to work at all, right? So building an asset is really important, where it can be anything. It can be like, hey, I've got a calendar. I'm going to build my calendar link today, because so that people can schedule appointments with me. I'm going to record a podcast. I'm going to build a video. I'm going to build a funnel. I'm going to write a 5-part email sequence. I'm going to interview someone on IG Live so we can cross-pollinate audiences. They're all assets, right? An asset is something that once you build it, it can work without you being present. For example, just think about this, right? I can take this video, hopefully you're watching this live or on the replay, and I can literally put it on Facebook, and I can buy traffic to it, and I can say, hey, check out this video that I did for my community. If you like this and you want the slides, just email me, Sharon, at slides, whatever, and I'll send it to you. Then my team gets it, they get the slides, they put them in the thing, and they start to sell more stuff. It's super easy to do, but you give them value first because it's an asset that was pre-built. Okay? Cool. Last but not least, I'm going to take a pause. Pause really quick. Pause. Questions. Is this, I'm going to take a sip of water. Is this helpful? Somewhat helpful? Not really helpful? Will you use something like this? Okay. Cool. Questions? Last one. Okay. Last one, then I can answer your questions. Let's do this. Share my screen back. Give you access to all this stuff. All right. Cool. Thanks, Helen. I wish I had like a, Helen, I'm assuming that's Mandarin or Cantonese or Chinese in some way. I wish I had my name in that. That would be really cool. All right. What is one secret to creating tons of content without stress because I'm stressed out? Please tell me this. How many of you ever feel this way? Like, how do you feel stressed out about creating content? Like, you have to give me a me in the chat if you feel stressed out about creating content. Right? Because if this is not you, then I don't need to worry about this. Okay, all the time. Cool. Of course you do. Now, I'm going to show you my personal way of how I create content. The problem is this. Let me actually break this down for you. The reason why a lot of people are stressed out about creating content is because the problem. I actually put this to the next page so that you guys can see this. Cool. Awesome. The problem is this. The problem is people are trying to, the average entrepreneur tries to plan content and create content at the same time. This is the number one problem. Planning what content you're going to create, because both are done by different sides of the brain. So for example, let's say you want to think about creating a video. You're like, oh, I should do this video. Awesome. This video is going to be about what? It's going to be about 3 things that are going to help people. Awesome. Cool. Let me go do the video. Now think about that. You're just in planning, brainstorming mode. Your brain can come up with more ideas, can create more ideas, more planning, etc. But then you're stopping the brain and saying, now I'm going to be in video mode. And then you're like, oh crap, I'm planning in mode again. Oh, what was it going to say? Oh, I'm going to do in video mode. Oh, planning mode. Oh, I have this idea, so I'm just going to write this email. Like the problem is planning and implementation are really kind of completely different things when it comes to content creation. So my tip number one for you is separate planning and creation. If you can just do that, you have already won. Let's talk about planning, and then let's talk about creation. The creation phase. Planning should be ad hoc, ongoing, whenever inspiration strikes, and I'll show you how I do it. Creation should be scheduled and blocked in batches. You always create in batches. Here's what I mean. Thursday afternoon, you have 90 minutes broken out where you're going to sit down and you're going to write email for 90 minutes, right? The only way you can do that is if you've already predetermined what you're going to write about. But if you sit down and say, okay, I should write some email, what do I write about? Now you're doing planning and creation at the same time. This is super important, so please track with me. If you've not been paying attention so far, you're already on here and you're multitasking, doing something else, you're wasting your time. Like, I'm being ultra serious with you, and there's no reason for me to share this with you, and there's no reason for you not to be here, not to listen. I'm going to call you out right now. Stop, listen, right? Here's the deal. Stop doing the planning and the creation at the same time, right? You can't ever stop in the morning and say, what do I post today? You can't do that because your planning and creation modes can't work like that, right? So you have to schedule time in block batches. Otherwise, it's very hard to write. Like, I'll give you, for example, I write a lot of email every week. I write the email at the same time every single week, and sometimes it moves, but I do it in 90-minute chunks because more than 90 minutes, my brain gets mush. Whatever I can write in 90 minutes, I write in 90 minutes, but I already have the predetermined topics. So I just show up, I know what I'm writing about, I write. Now the question you should be asking is, okay, what do you write about? How do you make all these notes? Where do you do all of it? Okay, I think Vikram asked that question. Do you write in Google and then your team takes it and adds it to your email server? Yes and no. So I write, I'll talk about that in a quick second from an implementation perspective, but let me show you something. Actually show you something from my, can I show you something that's ultra personal that you guys will respect? Because if you guys, I'm going to show you something ultra personal right now. Okay. All right. So I have a note in my notes folder. I have a note in my notes on my app, on my iPhone app, right? And it's called content prep, as you can see here. Literally, this is what it looks like. A lot of times, right before I go to bed every night, I stretch. I do a foam roll, whatever. Sometimes I just sit in the car waiting for my son. I don't do email at that time. What I do is content prep. Content prep is very simple. There's three things to this puzzle. You write what the content is. So I'll actually give you an example. So I'm going to write something. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to do a webinar. Okay. And the webinar, the topic is going to be 3 questions that my top clients are asking me from Q1 2021. Okay. And then the notes around this topic are really simple. The first question, what was the first question? I can't even remember. The first question was about, what can I do for 30 minutes every week that will build my brand and make me sell more stuff? Cool. Second question, what do you do when you feel stuck? Third question is, how do you create lots of content without stress? So now, this is all I write. I write this and then I move on. Because now the next time I want to do a webinar, I come back to this and literally I know what this is. I know the exact topic and I know that I have the bullet points. I knew that I was going to have to record a business school podcast. So what is it? It's a business school podcast. It's a topic and I just write out all my notes around this stuff. It may seem like a lot, but I just write out all my notes and I'm done. Next time I have to record a podcast, I just go to this and I know I have a podcast to record. I've done 2 of these. Let me actually show you something else here. This is good. I'll actually show you some. Oh, this is good. Social post. Topic, organization before execution. 3 things: plan before you do something, bullet points on making plans, monotasking. That's what I'm going to write about. Hey, I'm going to do something on a Clubhouse TEDx. This is what I'm actually going to talk about. Cool. Financial literacy, the 3 things I'm going to talk about. Literally, there's a webinar. I write, check this out. This is one email. I'm going to write an email about the 3 mistakes on Instagram. Automate everything, not being yourself, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, I haven't gotten to that. I've been writing notes on this. Hey, 3 ways to grow your business: traffic, system, and skills. Now, when I sit down to write an email, I can literally know what I'm going to write, right? So I keep writing, I keep making tons of notes around this stuff. And that way, when I actually have to create something, I already have this, right? I already have this. So I always go to my content prep. And when I have my content prep, literally my job is to just prep and put social post, video, idea, email, webinar, whatever. I just write that and I write the notes, because then a couple of things happen. Number one, when I actually have to implement, I already have the outline. Once I have the outline, I've already created more clarity and momentum, right? The second thing is, once you already have that, right, it becomes really easy. Like if you forget and have to redo something, if someone asks you to do something off the cuff, if someone asks me do you ever do anything off the cuff, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll just look at my notes. I'd be like, oh, I did something like this before, and I already have my outline around it, right? So I've already thought through this stuff. So you want to plan and you want to execute differently, but if you don't plan before, when you sit down to execute, you will get ultra frustrated. And that's what you want to avoid significantly, right? That's why the biggest value in this is separating out your planning and your creation. Now, if you can do your planning, and basically a lot of people, when they're bored, will actually, when they're whatchamacallit, have an extra minute in line at Starbucks, or they're sitting on the throne or whatever, they'll just sit there and they'll scroll Instagram. They'll scroll Facebook. What I do is literally, whenever I have an extra few minutes, my job is to be like, what piece of content would I create? I just keep writing notes on the different pieces of content that I would create. That's why I have a full library of content all the time that I can create. And so when I sit down in implementation mode, I always have something to work from, and I can create things so much faster, right? Now, I'm not saying amazing. I'm just trying to separate out the 2 processes that actually make it really, really hard for you, okay? That make it really, really hard for you. All right, I'm going to pause. I'll take questions for a couple of minutes, and then I'll give you your day back. So, if that was helpful, give me like something that you take that you may actually do something with. If you thought that was helpful, if you thought that may be interesting, give me what you thought that may be helpful here, and let me help you with making some progress. Cool, awesome. Separating plan and content, very good, awesome. Time blocking, good. Created a content prep folder. Yeah, it's just a note. I just have a note and I just write everything in the note. I make it ultra easy. Split planning and working. Awesome, writing. Awesome. Building the asset. Hey, I will tell you, no day goes by unless you build an asset. If you don't build an asset, I'm sorry, like you're going to keep working every single day. You're like, well, what email do I write tomorrow? Right? Assets need to work for you while you're not, while you're not around. So very good. Awesome. Cool. What a simple way to really, yeah, totally, Christian. Like you want to make this, you want to make your life as easy as possible, my friend. None of this stuff should be hard, right? None of this stuff should be hard. By the way, let me show you something. So you guys should have access to this doc. And if you don't have access to this doc, then I'll send you this link right now so you have access to it. Cool. Yeah, totally. So the question here was, I'll actually pull it up for you while we're chatting here. There's a question here on what are the tools that I use. So why don't I just pull it up for you? Tools, apps that I love. Okay, the question was that there you go. Tools that I use. So click on that link, if you will, and that'll give you the tools that I use. All right, so let's talk about this very quickly. The big part of sharing this with you was that, as you all know, you probably saw this email where I'm promoting this little thing called 10K wisdom. You probably know that, which is totally cool. These 3 questions are actually, I break these 3 questions down as answers in my 10K wisdom. And if you have not looked at it, I'm going to give you guys something. Just for showing up today, I'm going to give you something very cool. So here's a link to 10K wisdom, right? So what I'm doing is this. What I'm doing is every single month, I'm writing a playbook, a newsletter, if you will, but something a lot more specific than a newsletter, but something like a playbook. So this month, I'll actually tell you what it is. It's actually called How to Generate Referrals for Life. How to Generate Referrals for Life. It is 16 pages maybe, right? So it's not like a course. You can literally sit down, read it. It's got the scripts, generate it. How to Generate Referrals for Life. That is every single month I build one playbook, one written playbook that I FedEx to your house every single month. And based on and to do this, this is not a expensive subscription. It's going to go up in price, but to bribe you for being here and doing this, I'm going to offer you a lifetime subscription to my 10K Wisdom podcast, which is the private podcast that I only do for very similar to the questions that you saw for my mastermind groups and for the CEOs that I mentor and all of that, where each episode will give you a $10,000 shift, like $10,000 idea. Now, I am not going to give that to anyone else. You're going to get that now, but in the future, that you're not going to get lifetime access to it. So even if you get this and you don't like it and you unsubscribe, you still get to keep the 10K Wisdom for life, right? So I'm going to do that. Also, I'm doing like this cool masterclass on selling with social media that I'm going to sell later on April 22nd. For those that are joining me now on this one, I'm going to throw in that for free as well. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this in your hands, because I want you to get this in your hands. And by the way, I make no money on this, because by the time I print it, design it, ship it, FedEx it to your house, I make no money on it. This is my way of actually getting this to you so that you have a lot of benefit and gives me a chance to kind of have a lot of impact. So do me a favor. If any of this is of interest to you, none of this is expensive, by the way. It's ultra, it's not expensive at all. So go to that link that I just posted. And literally that's all you have to do. Just go, watch the video, and you can either buy the podcast, which I don't think you should do. Don't buy the podcast for $2,500. Like, don't do that. I literally would get the CEO playbook, which I mail to your house, FedEx to your house, and it gets shipped on the 15th of the month, every single month. Hard copy, FedEx to your house. It's just $147 a month, and I promise you this is going up in pricing, right? And then I automatically throw in the new product that I'm building with the social story selling. I'm automatically going to give you the 10K Wisdom podcast for free, all to tell you that I really want to get this in your hands just for you to experience it. Because there's nothing like this been done. People either send you to a course that you never log into. They send you like a long Zoom webinar. They send you a book to read. But sometimes all you need is 15 pages. You need 15 pages of really specific tactical ideas. And I want you to get you the best 15 pages in your hands every single month. So there's the link again. It's no contracts, no commitments, nothing. You never have to talk to me. That's the best part. You never have to talk to me. And it's just $147 a month. Wherever you are in the world, though, we do worldwide shipping via FedEx, DHL. So grab it. Again, I lose money on this. I just want to get it in your hands. I only say this to you because Wednesday, tomorrow evening, there's a real deadline, because I need to take this to the printers tomorrow so I can get this shipped in a week. So this is a real deadline. So go ahead and grab it, and it's literally nothing. And I think that you will enjoy it very much. So thank you for allowing me to do a little bit of promotion on that one. Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. You guys are honestly, you are crazy. Sorry. I did not mean to post that again. Like, I totally hit the wrong pace thing, but you're crazy. Like, it's just not even, I think I want you to experiment it. Take it, to get it for a month, see if you like it, and keep the 10K Wisdom podcast, because literally all the stuff that I talked about today are in there for you for life, right? And whether or not you stop the subscription, you get to keep the podcast. I'm not going to do that going forward. So this is just a launch bonus, and I want to get this in your hands. All right? Cool. Now that yeah, of course. Just put your, good question by Johanna. Just put your shipping address on that form, because that's the address that we're going to ship to. That's it. Otherwise, it'll work. By the way, customer service will just contact you back saying, hey, is this your address? Confirm. And if you have any changes, just let us know. We're a friendly bunch over here. So only put your shipping address on that page. Cool? Yes, it will work. Awesome. Very cool. All right, I'll stick around for like a couple more minutes if you have questions, if you have thoughts, something that I can help with, anything that you're working on right now that I can support you with. You got some free time for a second pair of eyes on your life and in your business. If I can help, if not, it's totally cool. I'll wait a couple minutes and give you guys your afternoon back. So, best book behind me, dude. That's difficult. What kind of book do you want? This is really good. This is Marketing by Seth Godin. It's just like almost like a collection of blog posts by Seth, but Seth does a really good job on this. I actually wrote this, by the way. Here's the deal. If you get the CEO Playbook, if you subscribe to the CEO Playbook on the link below, if you subscribe, I will send you my private interview that I did with Seth Godin when he launched his book. It's not available publicly. I will send you my private interview that I did with him. Just reply to my team and say, Sharon promised me this, and we'll send it to you. That's book number 1. If you want something that will blow your mind, that everybody should read, Don't Drop Books or Anything. My favorite book in the entire world, The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. Kind of fatty, though. Fatty, but, really, really good. Really good. Let me give you one more good one. This is amazing, by the way. It's called Predictably Irrational. It is like, I wish you could see this. And they should be able to see this stuff. I have notes on this stuff, like on every page. I think I have this whole book kind of like check this out. Like I have notes on this. I can't do this here. There you go. You can see it. Like this book is really, really good. It's also difficult to read, meaning it's not like, hey, I'm just gonna bang through this, but a really, really good book as well. There's some good ones. You want the big daddy of it all? The big daddy of it all. Last one. This is really good. Persuasion. The prequel to this is actually Influence by Robert Cialdini. That I think they hadn't revised that for 15 years. I actually had lunch with Bob Cialdini, really smart guy, weird, but really smart guy, and did a great job with his book. So literally, he has 2 books that has made him like he's one of the wealthiest professors in the University of Arizona that it's ever had. So really, really good. You may not know this one, but Joe Foster wrote this book called Shoemaker. He's the creator of Reebok and just launched this book, by the way. He just sent me this. I'm having Joe on my podcast, and he sent me this, and I'm going to promote Joe and his book. This is not even, I think this just got out, so I'm pretty cool. Cool story. I wish I had mine in here to show you. That would be kind of fun. All right. That was cool. Yes, sorry. I should have pasted that link. Thank you for asking. Pasting that link one more time. Cool. There's a link there. All right. Was that helpful? Give me a one quick takeaway, and then I'll give you guys your day back. By the way, grab the link if you want to. No pressure. It'll give you all the good stuff. You should at least try it for a month. This goes back to me saying, hey, inviting you to do something, believing in the product. No digital versions of this, by the way. I have not even sent. The only person that has a digital version of this are my designer and my publisher, my printer. No one else has a digital copy of this. Nobody else. So I want this in your hands. I wish I could show you this stuff. So it's not like, so it looks like this. Really easy to read, and kind of like breaks everything down that way. I already wrote next month's topic, which would be really cool as well. One topic a month, 15, 16 pages. Get you something in your hand that you can live and work with. All right. Okay, cool. Give you guys 10 seconds back here. Give me any plan and create. Very cool. Any other? Awesome. Yes, my man. So thank you. You're already subscribed to it. Shipping you to Hawaii. William, I get to ship you stuff, even though you get to ship me gummies, which is pretty cool. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being on. One last time, go get this. Angie, thank you. Yes. Team told me they saw that come through. I love it. I appreciate it. I can't wait to get it in your hands as well. Heard you were on vacation, which is very cool. Thank you for doing that. All right, appreciate it. Thank you guys for being on. Hopefully this was helpful, and love to get this stuff in your hands as well. So again, go grab the CEO Playbook. Thank you for being on today. And if there's anything that can be helpful with, whenever you get an email from me, hit reply, and I'll do anything that I can to support you. All right, have an awesome one, and I'll catch you all on the inside. Bye.